Do you have an Etsy print-on-demand shop and look around at other shops and wonder, how do they get all of these best-selling product ideas? Today, I am going to be showing you my 5-minute hack for how I come up with best-selling Etsy product ideas, even as someone who is not constantly on social media or following trends. This tool and this strategy have been a total game changer for my shop, and I can honestly say many of my best-selling products in my Etsy print-on-demand shop have come from ideas I found using this tool. So if you have been stuck trying to figure out what to sell, feeling stressed out, staring at a blank page in Canva, this video today is going to give you the clarity and the momentum you need to move forward. And if you stick around to the end, I will be showing you exactly how I use this tool to find best-selling product ideas for my Etsy shop. And if you want to learn more about how to launch, grow, and scale your own Etsy print-on-demand shop, don't forget to hit like or subscribe below. Like many people, when I started my Etsy print-on-demand shop, I thought it was all about creating these really cute, trendy designs that buyers would want. But what nobody told me is that the real work comes before you even open Canva, and that is the idea phase. Most sellers get stuck here. They open a shop with all the hope and excitement in the world, but then it comes time to actually get ideas to create for your shop, and they freeze. This uncertainty can lead to procrastination, second guessing, and just a lot of wasted time that you could be using creating products and learning in your Etsy shop. Hi, my name is Emily. I'm a mom of 2 young girls and a 6-figure Etsy seller who started this whole thing with no design or business experience. And now I love sharing the tips, tools, and strategies that I have used over the last 2.5 years to grow my Etsy shops to over $700,000 in revenue. Now, here's the deal. Like I said, I'm a mom. I am not super trendy. I spend my days doing school pickups and drop-offs and sitting at swim practice. And so I don't have a lot of time to be in the know on trends unless it's something like K-pop Demon Hunters that my young girls are watching. And when I was trying to figure out what to sell in my Etsy shop, I knew I needed something simple that would save me time and would show me exactly what is selling on Etsy right now. And here's the other thing. Everyone tells you to do your keyword research to figure out what's in demand and has lower competition on Etsy. And that is absolutely part of the process. But that skips over the whole idea generation phase of the process. You have to have an idea to even begin researching it. And what I found is that many new sellers get stuck in this idea phase, so then they don't even get to the research part. And that is where a tool called Insight Factory comes into play. Insight Factory has been my go-to for coming up with best-selling product ideas in my Etsy shop. It shows you what is trendy without having to come up with the idea yourself to research. It's like a cheat sheet for product ideas and inspiration. And what I love so much about Insight Factory is it has given me so many product ideas that I literally could not have thought of myself. And I am so excited to share with you how exactly I use Insight Factory to come up with these product ideas. But first, it is time for this week's Coffee and Cha-chings. And this week's question is, what if I'm not trendy or in the loop of what's popular? Can I still make sales on Etsy? And the answer is absolutely yes. That is 100% my story. I am not someone who is super in the know on TikTok or Instagram. And so trends were not something that were a strength for me. And so where I found success was in these evergreen product ideas, these evergreen designs. So what does evergreen mean? Evergreen means they are timeless and they sell year round. And that's why I'm so excited in my new community, the Gift Lab community. Every month I am releasing evergreen lab reports. And instead of chasing fads, it's focused on giving you product ideas that are timeless and sell all year and can be very simple designs. I am not a graphic designer. I am not trendy. I'm an elder millennial. But I have found that you can make a ton of sales every day on Etsy by focusing on these evergreen ideas. And yes, you can be trend aware, but you don't have to chase trends to make sales. And that is what I love so much about selling on Etsy with print on demand is there is opportunity to be successful in many different ways. That's this week's Coffee and Cha-Chings. Don't forget to post your comments below so that I can answer your questions in an upcoming segment. Let's dive into what Insight Factory actually looks like and how you can use its trends tool to find best-selling Etsy product ideas in 5 minutes. We are here on Insight Factory, and if you click on the Trends tool at the top, it's going to bring you to this page where you can explore trend ideas, keywords, niches, and they have some of them categorized here. So, for example, if you sell digital products, they have a lot of digital product categories. If you sell clothing and apparel, they have a lot of options here that will just kind of help get your search started. If you are selling giftable products like me, they also have mugs and tumblers and phone cases and candles to get you started. Now, here's how I recommend searching on the Trends tool. The best thing to do is start out broad. And what I mean by that is either start generally with the product type that you are selling. So in this case, I'm going to be searching for journals. So, when we are thinking about doing a broad search to start, what I recommend is doing one of two things. So, the first is searching the product type that you are currently selling. So, let's say you're selling candles or you're selling journals or you're selling mugs. Just type that in to get a general idea. The other option to type in is if you were selling in a specific niche. So, let's say you sell gifts for nurses or teachers, and you can type in here nurse or teacher, or let's say you do products for events like baby showers or weddings. You could type in baby showers. So I recommend starting broad, and then as we go, we are going to narrow down, but you don't want to limit your results before you even get started. So we are going to hit search on journal. And what Insight Factory is going to do for us is show us different results that are essentially long tail keywords, meaning more than one keyword together. And what I love so much about Insight Factory is that you can actually filter these results. So we can go in here under all categories. And in this case, we are doing print on demand. So we could select only physical products if you wanted to. You don't have to, but you could select only physical products. And then my other favorite thing about Insight Factory is their beginner friendly filter. And what that means is that it is going to automatically filter out any of these results that have over 2,500 in competition. So it's going to only show you things that have lower competition. So you can always check that. And then it's going to limit those results. So you're not being shown things that have a ton of competition and you're focusing on those results that are more competitive. The last filter that there is this one up here, and you can sort it by competition. You could sort it by recently added. So maybe it's like an up and coming search or trend, and sometimes you're able to catch things there. Or you could simply sort it by sales signal, which is going to show you kind of like the hottest results on. Now, of course, when we're looking at physical products, not everything is going to be print on demand. So you do have to do a little bit of filtering through. But overall, what I love so much about this is it is going to show you results for things that, again, you might not have been able to come up with yourself to begin with. So, what I recommend doing is sorting through the results and just going a couple pages in and seeing kind of what ideas stand out to you. So we could see here prayer journal college ruled. Interesting. So what these numbers are showing us is that 38 listings estimated on the first page had sales this week, and they estimate that the competition is 111 that are not using ads. And that one could be interesting, a prayer journal. And then we have here, ooh, this looks interesting, a chapter 18 journal. So it looks like this might be, and we can dig into this maybe for an 18th birthday. And it has 27 listings on the first page have had sales and only 83 competitive lists. So that could be something really interesting for us to look at. And I'm going to keep scrolling a little bit. We can see adventure journal with initials. And I usually like to just scroll through these pages and see things that might start to show up repetitively. So now we can see chapter 70. So that's interesting. So this appears again to be a birthday trend in the journal space. And chapter 13. So now I'm kind of seeing a pattern here, right? Like I'm seeing this chapter idea showing up multiple times for birthdays. I can see 9-year-old girl journal, journal book tracker for stamps. And I'm just going to go through one more page. So, again, chapter 16, fascinating. So, we're seeing this popping up again and again. And chapter 10, wow. So, for me, automatically right now, in just a couple minutes, I am seeing that this idea of chapter with the year number is popular. So, that makes me want to dig into this a little bit further. Okay, I'm back at chapter 18, which was the initial one that I found. And what you can do on Insight Factory is click on this, and it's going to bring you to some additional information. So then it's going to show you kind of the top 3 listings here. And it's estimating that this chapter 18th with the birth month flower on it and name has sold 38 times this month. And then you can also select perform keyword research, and that's going to take you to even more additional information. So on this screen here, as you're continuing, because you always want to validate your research that you find, right? So you never just want to accept anything as is. You want to keep digging in to make sure that it's a good idea. And so we can see here that this chapter 18 journal has an estimated 37 sales this month. The other really neat thing is you can see all their tags here, so you can start to get an idea and compile tags for your SEO. And you can see what the other listings are. From here, what I recommend doing is if you see a listing like this that looks really interesting, clicking on it, and then it will give you more information, and you can then go directly over to Etsy to then do some more digging. And from here, what I can validate is that this is in 20 plus carts. It has a bestseller badge, and it is obviously in demand. And so this could be a really incredible product idea for us to dig into and find a way to make this our own. And I want to remind you, this is not about copying. This is about finding demand and letting it spark ideas for you. And what Insight Factory does is helps you create those ideas to begin your research process. And this is where so many of us, including myself, will often get stuck is just like, I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know what to type into the Etsy search bar. And Insight Factory does an incredible job of filling that gap for us. So I want to leave you with a few things here. Let the data that you find from Insight Factory and the ideas that it gives you open up doors for you. We don't want it to box you in. We don't want to copy anyone, but we want this to open up opportunities for products that, again, you might not have otherwise been able to think of yourself. Look at what types of gifts are selling, what types of phrases are commonly being used, what types of design styles. Insight Factory has truly been a game changer for my Etsy shop, and I attribute so many of my best-selling products to the ideas I was able to find using this tool. And as a busy mom, this has helped expedite that idea generation process so much. Insight Factory has helped me stay inspired and aligned with what Etsy buyers actually want and are buying in this moment without wasting time or second guessing any of my ideas. And if you need help with the next step of the research process, I created a video that walks you through my exact research method, and you can watch that next.